Well, if anyone's watching this, you pretty much already know what Pepakura is, where it's a form of origami. I wanted to do a helmet just to try it, see how it was. I wanted a Power Ranger helmet, to be honest. You know, because you could get them online for like $500-600, or the cheap ones for like $300-400. But I was like, that sucks. I don't want to spend that kind of money. Or you could easily make one out of origami or paper mache. I mean, White Ranger helmet, yeah. Paper mache sucks. It takes too long. Well, not that it takes too long. It's just it's a pain in the ass, and it doesn't really come out really that well. And I wanted something that's going to last, not something that's just going to break apart. So I downloaded the Pepakura viewer, the designer. I started doing helmets. I thought it would be pretty easy, but it actually takes a lot of time and a lot of work. And you definitely need an X-Acto knife, because if you don't have one, bending all those tabs with a ruler or whatever you bend them with is not fun, and it doesn't come out that great. So I downloaded a couple of Power Ranger ones that I found. And like the Green Ranger one, it came out okay, but the size was kind of off, so I junked it, and it took a couple tries. So then I saw everyone building an Iron Man helmet, which looked pretty easy. I mean, it took like 16 hours just to put it together, and I got one. I built it, came out alright. Now I'm on the bondo process. You know, you do the resin and all that shit. Most of you guys already know that, and it's alright. And I was going to build the whole suit, but then it got expensive. So if you're going to build a whole suit, make the helmet out of Pepakura instead of, or make it out of resin and paper instead of the foam. The foam's a good example for something that's, it's not that cheap, but it's faster, but it's not meant to last. So if you're going to build the whole suit, build the helmet out of paper and all that stuff, and then build the rest of the suit out of the foam. And not that I don't like it, because it came out okay and I'm still bondoing it, but I wanted a Power Ranger helmet. So I was like, not that it's easiest, I chose the White Ranger one, and I looked at the helmets online, I looked at the Pepakura file that I have that I'll show you in a sec, and after building it all, I was like, it kind of doesn't look like the TV one. So I noticed it's the movie helmet, and which is cool. So a White Ranger helmet still would be awesome to build, so I put it together. There's a couple pieces I didn't like. You know, you got the tiger symbol on the top, and you also got the little cuts on the side that are actually indented in the helmet, which will look cool when it's done, but you got those pieces hitting you in the side, and I was like, I don't want those, so I got rid of them. I just used this piece of cardstock paper and just resined over it. I didn't even bother to do all the folds for the sides of the face, but I had to put the top piece in, because if you didn't, it would just collapse and it wouldn't have the strength, which are these pieces right here. If I could show you, if it shows up like these pieces right here, I had to keep those, but my plan is to bondo over it and then use craft foam to bring the shape back out. And then also with the side pieces here, I didn't like the indents. I really didn't like how they go inside the helmet, so like I said, I got rid of it, which, you know, right now I'm still doing the bondo. You can see this side still needs it really bad. The rest of the helmet, it's perfectly smooth right now. I mean, you got the body filler and all the other stuff, and as you notice, there's no tiger logo or the symbol on the top, and also on the sides there's no side pieces. Doing this way makes it a little heavier than it should be, because you have to put all the bondo to cover this up, but in the end it's going to look awesome. I don't know what to do next. I mean, I'm going to use craft foam to build the top of the helmet, to build the sides of the helmet, and I'm going to, I know you can't paint over foam, because the paint will deteriorate the foam, and I don't want that after spending at least, I mean, it took me a month to do all just this, but with work, and if you have a girlfriend, it takes time away, but really this is at the most a couple, maybe like 3, 4, or 5 days if you do it non-stop. So it's not that bad. And also with the The bondo, if you use more hardener, it hardens faster, and you can sand it. You don't have to wait for it to dry. But I was watching tons of videos about it, and the resin, making these helmets isn't that cheap as I thought it would be. The resin alone is around 16 to 20 bucks depending on where you go. Walmart wasn't that bad. If you go to like a local hardware store, like a small town, you're gonna pay more. So like Walmart was a really good buy. The bondo itself, if you can't go to a Walmart, which is kind of hard, Walmart has a really good deal. You can buy a gallon of the bondo for I think 15 bucks. You could buy a quart, which 4 quarts to a gallon, for 12 bucks. So why not just spend a couple extra bucks and you get a whole gallon? Even if you don't need it, it's nice to have. So I learned the hard way. I'd buy the quart, then I noticed the gallon, because the small stores aren't going to really sell you the gallon of bondo. But if anyone has any ideas with the craft foam, I assume that I could just resin over it and then bondo over it, and the resin will put a coat over, or even use wood glue, which I've seen with the foam suits. Put the wood glue over it and then bondo over it, or I could just bondo over it and then I'll paint it. But it's coming out well. I mean, I didn't need to show you the whole build process. There's other people out there that show you the build process, what it takes. Also with the spray adhesive, I did do that. I spray adhesive the fiberglass cloth, which works wonders for the little contours and bends inside the helmet. But the problem is, what I've noticed is when you resin over it, it doesn't stiffen up that hard. So it took about 3 layers of fiberglass resin, or just the cloth itself, before it even hardened, and then the top piece was really soft still in this little spot, so I actually had to literally make some resin and pour in there for it to harden. Other than that, the spray adhesive worked great. It's honestly, it gives you a cleaner finish inside. I would show you inside the helmet, but with the lighting and all that, it's not going to really look that well. The Iron Man helmet, I didn't do it, and it looks like crap inside. So it's going to take a lot of sanding, and it's just, honestly, they're great, but I wouldn't wear it unless you actually cast it after you're done. Because you're going to probably poke yourself in the head, or it's just not going to be comfortable. I mean, you cover up with foam and stuff. So with the craft foam, I'm just a couple steps away. I mean, eventually the visor, I don't care about it. I will cut it out. I will put the new visor in. Like the motorcycle visors I saw, and it's cool. The files I do have if anyone wants one, even though you could just go on there and get it yourself for free. You also don't have to mess with the dimensions with this helmet. It comes already this size, which will fit anyone's normal head. The opening that you get, I assume it's small just to keep the shape when you resin it, but I'm going to have to Dremel this a little bit wider, which I will do after I put the craft foam on and bondo it and paint it, and then, well, I'll put the primer on, and then I'll Dremel everything out, make it where you could actually open it up and wear it. It's really, I mean, it's not that it's hard, it's just really time consuming. If you don't have the time and even the money, it's not that cheap. I probably spent like $50 or more just on this, but it's still cheaper than buying the real helmet. There's a lot of good people on YouTube that show you how to bondo, show you how to sand, show you how to do all that. Honestly, what I used was 100 grit sandpaper for like this stuff right here, and then once I got it almost leveled, then I used 400 grit sandpaper, and I also used sanding brick from 3M, and it comes out super smooth, and but it takes a lot of time, a lot of sanding, and honestly, even wearing junk clothes, I really didn't have to. Bondo's not that messy. I mean, you get it on your hands, but it comes right off after it dries off. You do have the bondo applicators to spread it. They work pretty well if you're doing a large area, but they're still kind of crappy when you're trying to do the small detail. That's why I stopped doing the Iron Man. But yeah, I've noticed with the Power Ranger helmets, I've seen one person kind of finish it, but they didn't really do the craft foam justice. It looked like crap, no offense. And then there's also a Sabretooth one, which she only showed you up to the bondo, well, not the bondo, but the resin stage. So there's not a lot of stuff up there where people actually did a full Ranger helmet that actually looked really good. You could tell they just half-assed it and didn't put the details in there. So I want to actually make a video of showing you the different processes of just designing it. I didn't want to build it and show you because it's easy. You can just download it, build it yourself. And not that the builds that people show, like the time lapse is cool and all, or not cool and all, but it just gets boring. So here's the White Ranger helmet, and hopefully I will upload more videos and after I prime it and cut out the visor and all that. And I actually want to show the full example of, you know, you put a lot of time and effort, what it could come to be instead of just not being out there, I guess, because no one really is doing Power Rangers. It's all Halo and Iron Man. And, you know, I did an Iron Man 1 too. But, or Star Wars. I've seen a lot of Star Wars ones too. But hopefully this will actually look like the movie helmet, even though the movie helmet has an extra ridge up here before you put the pieces itself, the tiger marks and all that. I don't necessarily like that, so I'm not going to put it on. It's going to kind of be a hybrid between the TV show White Ranger helmet and the movie helmet. The big difference between the movie and the TV helmet is the pattern on top. The movie helmet's thicker, the TV show is thinner, and also there's like the eyes itself don't connect. But hopefully I will upload another video once I'm done bondoing and putting the craft foam on to show the process and also see what works better, resining the craft foam or just bondoing over, because I really don't know yet. And I know I can't spray paint over the craft foam without the craft foam pretty much turning into crap. So hopefully in the next video I will explain exactly how I did that in stiffening it up and then bondoing over. So I'll see you all later. And if you have any questions, just comment and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can later.